Welcome to Ecclesia Principles, a biblical strategy for believers to engage in God's design for government with Ray Eppard.
Hello, glad you could join us again today. We have been looking at jurisdictional government, the different jurisdictions that God has established. Currently, we're looking at the jurisdiction of the family. The word jurisdiction, the first part, juris, basically means legal or lawful. Diction, speech. Who has the right to say? Who has the legal authority to say, to speak, to decide an issue? That's what jurisdiction basically means. And with this, right now, we're looking at how government approach to things can adversely affect the family. And the family, and here we're particularly talking about the nuclear family, even though there are dynamics beyond that that are legitimate. But I especially want to talk about the nuclear family, the biological family, because what we can do to help that be healthy is great. And then that will actually reduce the other types of situations that we will have to deal with. But I'm using Romans 13:4 as our text for this because it's talking about government leaders, and it says, "For he is God's minister to you for good." See, that's God's design. Now, government officials will have to stand before God for whether or not what they did was good for us. They will have to give an account for that. But if you do evil, Paul says, be afraid, do not, for he does not bear the sword in vain, for he is God's minister, an avenger to execute wrath on him who practices evil. If you would, this is the design, this is the intent that God has for it. Obviously, that intent is not always followed through on. Now, with this, one of the biggest things that has been in my lifetime that has been so detrimental to the family has been President Johnson's Great Society. Now, in this, it particularly devastated the black community. If you look at the statistics that show the health of a community, an ethnicity, a nation, divorce rate, out of wedlock birth, crime, a lot of different things. In the 50s, now there were issues, the economics and educational opportunities that needed to be fixed. That was skewed. But when it came to divorce rate, out of wedlock births, teenage pregnancy, all of those things, it was extremely comparable to the rest of America up until the Great Society. And since Johnson's Great Society, the black community has been devastated, particularly the black family has been devastated. Single-parent homes, because so much of Johnson's policies that were instituted through the Great Society that you can check it out. Johnson was really no friend to African Americans. He helped get the Civil Rights Act passed, but 100% of Republicans voted for it. He got enough Democrats to join. And in all honesty, this is an opinion, I believe he did a little bit of a trade-off with the Great Society, because in passing the civil rights, the Great Society just put certain things in motion that so devastated the black community. And what we see today in certain parts of the black community is not the way it was prior to that legislation. Governments can destroy families. Join us again tomorrow.
You've been listening to Ecclesia Principles with Ray Eppard. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook on our Ray Eppard pages. This program was brought to you by Victory Worship Center and World Outreach. Services Sunday 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, 200 Hammond Lane, Stanton, Virginia.